Hello everyone. Today we are going to see a very important topic of satellite communication, that is satellite orbits. So we'll see what are orbits and what are various types of orbits. In general, orbits are nothing but they are the paths on which satellite. So once a satellite is launched, it should be properly placed in corresponding orbit after it reaches the space. So it will revolve in particular way or in a particular orbit, and it will serve the purpose for which it is sent, whether it is a scientific purpose, military or a commercial purpose. The orbits which are assigned to satellites with respect to Earth are called Earth orbits, and henceforth these orbits in which these satellites are present are called Earth orbit satellites. So we'll see various types of Earth orbit satellites also. We should choose an orbit properly for satellite based on the requirement. For example, if we have requirements of meteorological surveys, then LEO satellites are preferred. If we have the requirement of more coverage, then the higher orbit, that is geostationary orbits, are preferred. Similarly, for example, if the satellite is placed in lower orbit, then it takes less time to travel around the Earth, and the onboard cameras will give better results. Then it takes more time to travel around the Earth, and it covers more Earth surface at one time. So the types of Earth orbit satellites are, the three important types are geosynchronous Earth orbit satellites, medium Earth orbit satellites, and low Earth orbit satellites. We can see here in this picture, this brown one is low Earth orbit satellite, blue one is medium Earth orbit satellite, and this green one is geosynchronous Earth orbit satellites. A geosynchronous Earth orbit satellite is the one which is placed at an altitude of 22,300 miles above the Earth's surface, or we can say it is 36,000 kilometers from the surface of the center of the Earth, and 35,000 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. The orbit is synchronized with the sidereal day, that is 23 hours 56 minutes and 4.09 seconds. You can see here this is a circular orbit lying in the equatorial plane, and an observer standing here on this point. For him, this satellite on this orbit will appear to be stationary with the Earth's rotation. This geosynchronous Earth orbit satellites can have inclination or eccentricity. Eccentricity means that they are not circular, and inclination is the angle that a satellite's orbit makes with the equatorial plane. So it can have some incidence, that is, it can make an angle with the Earth's equatorial plane, and it is not necessarily completely circular. It may have some elliptical shape. It may not be circular. The orbits can be tilted at the poles. It may be tilted towards the poles, so this might not be circular and making zero inclination with the equatorial plane, but it may be tilted like this. So this orbit can be tilted at the poles, but it appears stationary when observed from the Earth. If an observer standing on the Earth observes to the satellite, it will appear stationary. These satellites are used generally for satellite television. Now, geostationary orbit. The geosynchronous and geostationary sounds to be a little bit confusing because they are just similar and have a very minute difference. The same geosynchronous orbit, if it is circular, that is in the plane of equator, Earth's equatorial plane, then it is called geostationary orbit. So if it has some inclination and it is not circular, then it becomes a geosynchronous. These satellites are also placed 35,900 kilometers, same as geosynchronous, above the Earth's equator, and they keep rotating with the Earth's direction of rotation, that is from west to east. So the minute difference is that they have some inclination and they are not lying in the equatorial plane. Now, geostationary satellites, these satellites are placed above the surface of the Earth around 36,000 kilometers, and they have the same angular velocity that of the Earth. Hence, these satellites are considered as stationary. So, an observer standing on the surface of the Earth, to him, the satellite in a geostationary orbit will appear to be stationary. The advantage of geostationary orbit is that there is no requirement of tracking antennas for finding the position of the satellites, whereas in the case of other orbits like LEO and MEO, we need to track the satellites. Geostationary orbit satellites are used for weather forecasting, satellite TV, satellite radio, and other type of global communication. Now this picture clearly shows the difference between the geosynchronous orbit and the geostationary orbit. Here you can see that this geosynchronous orbit makes an inclination with the equatorial plane of the Earth. So geosynchronous orbit may have some angle, inclination angle with respect to the equatorial plane of Earth, and it is not necessarily circular orbit, it may be a elliptical orbit, whereas geostationary orbits have zero inclination angle with the equatorial plane of the Earth, and they are circular in nature. So important point is here is that every geostationary orbit is a geosynchronous orbit, but converse need not to be true, that is that each geosynchronous orbit may not be the geostationary orbit. Now medium Earth orbit. Medium Earth orbit lies in between that of the LEO and GEO, as the name also suggests. They orbit at a distance of about 8,000 miles from the Earth's surface. You can see here the LEO is the nearest one, GEO is the farthest one, and MEO is the medium one. This green one is the MEO. Signal transmitted from MEO satellite travel a shorter distance. Due to this, the signal strength at the receiving end gets improved. It is obvious, the farther you are from the surface of Earth, the longer the signal has to travel, the longer is the impact of interference, fading, noise on the signal, and weaker is the signal. So the nearer you are, the better is the signal strength, resulting in a smaller and lightweight equipment at the receiving terminals. So if you are in LEO, then the signal will be more stronger, and in GEO it will be weaker than MEO and LEO. Transmission delay can be defined as the time it takes for a signal to travel up to a satellite and back down to a receiving station. So for LEO it will be the minimum transmission delay, and for MEO it will be that between of LEO and GEO, that is more than LEO and less than GEO, and for GEO it will be the. For real-time communication, the shorter transmission delay is better, because if the transmission delay is more, then there might be a jitter, or you may hear an echo in the communication. As an example, if a GEO satellite requires 0.25 seconds for a round trip delay, that is 250 milliseconds, then MEO satellite requires less than 0.1 seconds to complete the same trip, and the LEO will require lesser time. MEO operates generally in the frequency range of 2 GHz and above. This decides the satellite frequency band. These satellites are used for high speed telephone signals. 10 or more MEO satellites are required in order to cover the entire Earth. As you go up higher, you require lesser number of satellites. As you come lower towards lower orbits, you require more number of satellites to cover the entire Earth. Now low Earth orbits. Low Earth orbits, as the name suggests, they are the nearest one. You can see here, these are the nearest one to the surface of the Earth, then MEO, and then finally GEO. So these can be categorized into three categories: little LEOs, big LEOs, and mega LEOs. LEOs will orbit at distance from ranging starting from 500 to 1000 miles. So this 500 is governed by the atmospheric drag. Whenever the Earth's atmospheric drag finishes, at that place you can start placing the LEOs in the surface, above the surface of the Earth. These satellites are used for satellite phones and GPS. Mainly they are also used for capturing the weather conditions and acquiring the meteorological survey photographs, etc. This relatively short distance reduces the transmission delay. As I have already told, that the transmission delay for the LEO satellites is minimum, and it is in case of MEO it is more than LEO, and in case of GEO it is maximum. And the shorter distance improves the signal quality, hence reduces the need for sensitivity and bulky receiving equipment. But in contrast to this, it may require a tracking system for tracking the LEO satellites. So 20 or more LEO satellites are required to cover the entire Earth. I have already told you that if we go further up, then in GEO we require only 3, and in MEO we require 10 to 15, and here we require approximately 20 to 30 satellites to cover whole Earth. Little LEOs will operate in 800 MHz, that is 0.8 GHz range. Big LEOs will operate in 2 GHz or above range, and mega LEO operate in 20 to 30 GHz range. The higher frequencies associated with mega LEOs translate into more information carrying capacity, that is bandwidth, and yields to the capability of real-time low delay video transmission schemes. Now a question may ask, we have done with the basic orbits. There are more types of satellite orbits are also basis on the rotation, basis on the inclination, basis on the location, but the major three categories we have completed. So a question may arise that with more than 200 and more satellites growing and being placed into the geosynchronous orbit, how do we keep them from running into each other or getting collided with each other, or from attempting to use the same location in the space? They make in the roads also we have seen, if more vehicles are there, then the chances of accidents, chances of their striking together increases. So as the satellites, more and more satellites are being placed in the 200 more than 200 satellites in the geosynchronous orbit, and the obvious choice for placing a satellite is geostationary or geosynchronous orbit. So how we protect them from getting running into each other? So there are international regulatory bodies like the International Telecommunication Union (ITU), national government organizations like Federal Communication Commission (FCC). So FCC and ITU designate the locations on the geosynchronous orbit where the communication satellites can be located. So before launching a satellite and establishing it into the orbit, organization has to take permission from FCC and ITU. That's all for this lecture. Thank